Ladies and gentlemen, let me ask you something. Have you ever noticed how much a woman's tone of voice can shape how she's perceived? The way she speaks, the warmth or sharpness of her words, can leave an impression long after the conversation ends. Make no mistake, these subtle cues go far beyond the actual content of what is being said. They carry the emotional weight that often speaks louder than words themselves. Today we're diving deep into these nuances, exploring how a woman's tone, self-care habits, and the energy she brings into a room can influence relationships and how others see her. If you are not subscribed, I recommend subscribing and activating the notification bell so you don't miss any videos. If you like the topic of this video, please comment 1. If you don't, please comment 0 to let me know how I can improve and make better videos for you. Now, let's begin. A man often finds himself watching the way a woman interacts with others, particularly those who cannot offer her anything in return. It's not just about being polite, it's something deeper, something that speaks volumes about her core values. He notices how she treats the waiter at the restaurant, the cashier at the store, or even a stranger on the street, her kindness, her consideration. These are the moments that show who she truly is, long before any words are spoken. When a man observes this behavior, it doesn't just tell him she's a decent person, it tells him that her kindness isn't conditional. It's not about what someone can give her or how they can help her, it's simply a reflection of her character. A woman who treats everyone with the same respect and compassion, no matter their status or what they can offer in return. This kind of empathy and genuine care is like a silent promise that she lives by values of integrity and sincerity. For a man, this kind of behavior is like a magnet for trust. It gives him a sense of peace because it demonstrates consistency and reliability. Relationships are about building something lasting, something that won't crumble at the first sign of adversity. And when a man is faced with the question, what would it be like to share my life with this woman, part of that evaluation includes how she interacts with the world around her. Does she show patience and kindness, or does she exhibit impatience and dismissiveness, especially toward those who are in positions that require humility? If she's rude or dismissive to someone simply doing their job, it can leave him with doubts. He might begin to question, if she can treat them that way, how might she treat me or the people I care about when things aren't going well? It's a red flag, one that can't be ignored. On the other hand, when he witnesses her taking a moment to acknowledge the humanity in others, to offer a smile or a simple thank you, it resonates deeply. These are the small, seemingly insignificant acts that can have an outsized impact. These tiny gestures of warmth are a testament to her emotional intelligence and self-awareness. She doesn't just see people as obstacles or inconveniences, she sees them as human beings worthy of respect. It's that kind of energy that draws people in. It signals that she will likely bring emotional safety to a relationship, a sense of calm and reassurance in moments of stress. When challenges arise, instead of reacting with anger or frustration, she'll approach them with understanding and compassion. She's the kind of person who knows that kindness is not just a surface-level act, it's a way of living. Men may not always be able to articulate why they feel drawn to a woman who exudes this kind of gentle strength, but they can sense it. It's not something that needs to be explicitly pointed out, it's felt almost instinctively. Her consistency in these small, everyday moments becomes an unspoken promise that she is trustworthy, reliable, and empathetic. Men remember how a woman treats others, and in the long run, it forms the foundation for how they see her as a potential partner. It's not about grand gestures, it's about showing up with grace and humility every single day. In the same way, a man is acutely aware of the energy a woman brings into a room. Her enthusiasm for life can be magnetic, even if it's not something she's trying to project intentionally. When a woman is genuinely engaged with the world around her, whether she's passionate about her work, her hobbies, or the people in her life, there's an undeniable spark. It's the way she lights up when she talks about something she cares about, the way her eyes shine with excitement. That energy is contagious. It's not about the specifics of what she's passionate about, it's about the way she approaches life with vigor and curiosity. It's an openness to experience, an active participation in the world around her that signals to a man that she is alive in a way that's both inspiring and compelling. A woman who carries that kind of enthusiasm communicates something so powerful. She's someone who has a sense of purpose. She's not just going through the motions waiting for life to happen to her. She's out there making life happen, seeking joy, learning, growing, and thriving. That's a deeply attractive quality. For a man, it signals that she's emotionally independent, that she's not relying solely on him for her happiness or fulfillment. She brings her own rich, fulfilling life into the relationship, complementing his with her unique drive. That's the kind of woman who can build a relationship that's based on mutual growth, where both partners contribute to the emotional and intellectual well-being of one another. But the opposite is also true. When a woman is disengaged, when she shows no interest in the world around her, it can create an unsettling feeling. A lack of curiosity, a lack of joy in the little things, can make her come across as detached, as if she's waiting for something to spark her interest, but never actually living fully in the moment. For a man, this can feel like an obstacle to building a connection. Enthusiasm isn't just about surface-level excitement. It's the emotional bridge that connects people. Without it, interactions can feel flat, uninspiring, and ultimately unfulfilling. Enthusiasm has a way of breathing life into a relationship. It fuels growth, creates excitement, and helps partners discover new depths to one another. What makes enthusiasm so powerful is that it's contagious. When a woman is passionate about something, anything, a book, a hobby, a career goal, it awakens something in those around her. Her enthusiasm can inspire a man to reflect on his passions and to remember the beauty in being fully present and engaged with life. It's not about what she's passionate about, it's about the energy she radiates. It's a subtle reminder that life is something to be embraced, to be lived with purpose and joy. And for a man, that reminder can change everything. It makes him want to live more deeply, more meaningfully, and with more enthusiasm for the world around him. Enthusiasm for life is more than just a spark of excitement. It's a declaration of resilience and hope. It shows a woman's unwavering ability to rise above life's inevitable hurdles and still embrace every opportunity for joy that comes her way. When a woman exudes genuine enthusiasm, it's clear she doesn't just let life pass her by. She actively participates in it, finding the beauty in even the smallest moments. For men, this radiance is magnetic. It embodies a mindset that not only uplifts her own experience, but also enriches the lives of everyone fortunate enough to be around her. The way she seeks out the goodness, the humor, and the warmth in a world that can sometimes feel so dark speaks to a strength of character that goes unnoticed by few. But it's not just in her words or grand gestures that this zest for life is felt. It's in her every action. A woman who meets challenges head-on with a smile or a spark of determination in her eyes reflects a deep sense of optimism. It's a quiet but powerful energy that creates ripples in the lives of those who encounter her. Men notice this because it's the embodiment of something profound. A woman who is not easily defeated by circumstances. A woman who chooses to see beauty even when life isn't perfect. It's as though she holds the secret to thriving no matter what life throws her way. This optimism becomes infectious, igniting hope in those around her and reminding them that no matter how hard things get, there is always room for joy. Men, without even realizing it, are incredibly attuned to body language and posture. It's a language in itself, a way of communicating deeply without saying a word. A woman's body language tells a story, one that speaks to her emotional state, her level of confidence, and how she feels about herself. When a woman walks into a room, carrying herself with grace, her shoulders squared and her chin lifted, there's no mistaking it. She exudes confidence. It's not about trying to stand out or demand attention, but rather about embodying a quiet strength that naturally draws others to her. Men take note of this, not because they are trying to analyze her, but because these cues tell them so much about her inner world. Her confidence is a reflection of her self-worth, of knowing who she is and being unashamed of it. That subtle assurance is magnetic. It makes people want to know her, trust her, and spend time with her. Contrast that with the woman who might hold herself in a way that's less open. Slouched shoulders, movements that seem unsure or withdrawn. These gestures often communicate something different. They might hint at insecurity, discomfort, or a lack of confidence. It's not about being judgmental. It's about noticing the unspoken signs that reveal a person's emotional state. Men, without even consciously trying, are sensitive to these shifts in body language, a shift in posture, a guarded gesture, a closed-off stance. These all tell a story, often one of emotional vulnerability or hesitation. And while this is a natural part of being human, men can sense that these physical expressions are deeply linked to their inner world. They may not be able to articulate it, but they are aware of the signals they are receiving. What makes body language so powerful is that it doesn't rely on perfection. It's not about looking flawless or having flawless posture. What matters most is the authenticity and alignment between her inner self and the way she presents herself to the world. A woman who offers a warm, genuine smile, who stands tall but relaxed, who allows her body to express openness, immediately creates a space where people feel at ease. It's not just a matter of being physically present. It's about being emotionally available. These subtle cues, her gestures, her expressions, signal a sense of trust and approachability, which are fundamental to building connection. Men are not only drawn to this energy, they are deeply moved by it. When a woman's presence fills a room, it's not necessarily about being the loudest or most boisterous. It's about the stillness and warmth that her body language conveys. When her posture is open, when her gestures flow naturally, when she makes eye contact with ease, these signals speak louder than words ever could. It's as if her body is offering an invitation to connect, to be understood. In contrast, a woman whose body language is closed off, rigid, or defensive can unintentionally push people away, even if that's not her intention. Men, sensitive to these nuances, can pick up on these signs instinctively, even without fully understanding why. The tone of voice plays an equally significant role in communication, one that often goes unnoticed. It's the subtle rhythm, pitch, and cadence that can convey more about her state of mind than any set of words ever could. When she speaks with warmth, when the words flow with purpose, and her voice carries a sense of intention, it's an invitation to listen, to understand. Men instinctively notice these changes in her tone. They pick up on the underlying emotion behind the words. It's not just what she says, but how she says it. A soft, sincere tone can communicate kindness, care, and openness, while a sharp, tense tone might suggest frustration or distress. These subtle shifts in voice are powerful, revealing so much about her emotional landscape. They tell a story that goes far beyond the content of her words. If you are still watching this video and find these lessons useful, please comment 1 below to let me know that you are still here with me. When a woman's tone matches her body language, when her voice, her posture, and her demeanor align, it creates a magnetic harmony. It's an authenticity that men can't help but notice. There's something deeply reassuring about a woman whose presence matches her energy, someone who, without saying much, communicates everything through her physical presence and her tone. Speaks to a certain clarity, a peace within herself, and an emotional maturity that makes her approachable and reliable. And that, above all, is what truly makes a lasting impression. A warm, calm, and balanced tone creates an environment that exudes comfort and trust. When a woman speaks with a tone that is genuine, inviting, and thoughtful, it's as if she's offering a safe harbor, an emotional refuge where open and honest conversations can flourish. Men in particular take note of the way her voice carries with warmth and sincerity, recognizing that it speaks volumes about her emotional state and willingness to connect. This sense of warmth signals emotional stability and openness, creating an unspoken reassurance that this is a space where vulnerability is safe. A tone filled with kindness, curiosity, and empathy becomes the bridge that allows deeper conversations to flow freely, drawing people closer and fostering mutual understanding. It's an invitation to be fully seen and heard without fear of judgment, and it reassures a man that the space she creates is one of peace, where he can truly be himself. Conversely, a harsh or overly sharp tone can leave a lasting mark, even when the words themselves aren't overtly negative. Men are sensitive to these nuances because they understand that tone is often a reflection of emotional undercurrents, especially in moments of stress, conflict, or even in casual interactions. A critical or dismissive edge to her voice can unintentionally communicate impatience or frustration, subtly shifting the atmosphere into something tense and uncomfortable. Even if the words are neutral or positive, the sharpness in her tone may send a message of emotional dissonance that makes it difficult to fully connect. Men instinctively pick up on this, often without realizing it. It's a signal that something is unresolved, that frustrations might be simmering just beneath the surface. A consistently negative or sharp tone over time can erode trust and harmony, leaving a lingering sense of unease. It's like a quiet dissonance that gets harder to ignore, and it can subtly disrupt the foundation of a relationship if not addressed. But what stands out the most and what truly resonates with men is authenticity. Authenticity in tone is unmistakable. It's the sweet spot where a woman's voice perfectly aligns with her emotions and intentions. When she speaks from a place of genuine feeling, her tone rings true, and it's impossible not to feel her presence in the conversation. Men notice when a tone feels forced or insincere. A cheerful tone that lacks sincerity, or one that's constantly monotone, can be just as noticeable as a voice that seems disengaged or distant. Authenticity is magnetic. It signals that she's fully invested in the moment, that she values the conversation, and that she's committed to being emotionally present. Her voice becomes more than just a medium for words, it becomes a reflection of her heart, and that's something men deeply appreciate. It's an indicator that she's not just going through the motions, but that she genuinely values the person she's speaking to. Tone has a powerful emotional ripple effect. It's not just about what is being said, but how it's said. A soothing or enthusiastic tone can lift the spirits and bring energy to a conversation, while a sharp or flat tone can dull the mood, leaving a sense of emptiness in its wake. Men notice these emotional shifts instinctively, even if they don't have the words to articulate why. It's these subtle changes that influence the overall dynamic of the relationship. Whether it's a casual chat or a serious discussion, tone sets the stage for either connection or disconnection. A woman who speaks with a balanced, engaging tone creates an atmosphere where emotions are shared freely and where both parties feel safe to open up. It's a small detail, but its impact resonates far beyond the conversation itself, often shaping how a man feels about the woman long after the words are spoken. Men are also deeply aware of the small, everyday ways a woman takes care of herself, and these actions speak volumes about her self-respect and the value she places on her well-being. It's not about superficial beauty or trying to conform to external standards. It's about the choices she makes out of love for herself. When a woman invests time in nurturing her health, maintaining her emotional balance, and presenting herself in a way that makes her feel good, it speaks to an inner strength and self-discipline that is inherently attractive. These self-care habits are far more than routines. They are reflections of a woman's sense of pride in who she is, and that confidence radiates outward. To a man, seeing a woman who takes care of herself and prioritizes her mental and physical health signals that she can show up for herself, which in turn means she will show up in a relationship. These habits of intentional self-care aren't just about looking good. They're about investing in her own emotional and physical wellness. This consistent attention to herself reveals a deep sense of self-worth, and it speaks to a larger quality that is essential for a healthy partnership: reliability and stability. A woman who can take care of herself and who prioritizes her happiness and well-being is more likely to bring that same level of care, thoughtfulness, and balance into her relationships. For a man, this suggests that she will be a reliable partner, one who can offer not just love, but a steady and grounding energy that complements and nurtures the relationship. In a world full of distractions and pressures, a woman who takes the time to invest in herself is a beacon of strength, and that kind of woman is impossible to overlook. Men notice the subtle yet powerful ways that self-care reflects a woman's boundaries. Taking care of oneself is not just about maintaining physical appearance or health. It's about knowing when to say no, when to protect one's emotional energy, and when to prioritize personal needs over external demands. The ability to do this speaks to a woman's deep self-awareness and strength. It shows that she values her well-being enough to set boundaries that preserve her peace. Men are drawn to this because it suggests she is not easily swayed by the pressures of others or by the need for external validation. In a world where so many people compromise themselves to meet others' expectations, a woman who knows how to prioritize herself becomes a beacon of self-respect and emotional strength. There's something incredibly reassuring about witnessing someone who understands that they don't need to sacrifice their peace or happiness for the sake of others. It signals stability and maturity, qualities that are deeply respected. However, the importance of self-care transcends the physical. Men are keenly aware of how a woman takes care of her emotional and mental health as well. The way she handles stress, how she speaks to herself in difficult moments, and whether she actively seeks joy, growth, and fulfillment in her life all play into her sense of well-being. A woman who is kind to herself, who nurtures her emotional needs and engages in passions that bring her happiness, is a woman who exudes resilience and optimism. Men find this quality magnetic because it radiates positivity and strength. When a woman actively works on her emotional health, whether it's by seeking out activities that uplift her or by practicing self-compassion, she becomes more than just someone who looks after herself. She becomes a source of inspiration. Her energy lifts those around her, and her presence is a reminder of the beauty that comes from nurturing oneself both physically and emotionally. On the other hand, when a woman neglects her self-care, whether emotionally, physically, or mentally, it can communicate something more profound. It can indicate that she's struggling with self-respect or dealing with unresolved emotional turmoil. Men may not always express it, but they notice this, not out of judgment, but as a quiet observation of what it could mean for the future of a relationship. If a woman is unable or unwilling to care for herself, it may signal potential challenges in maintaining a balanced and healthy partnership. Self-care, at its core, is a reflection of how a woman values herself. And if she values herself deeply, she will naturally extend that care and respect to those around her. Men sense this connection. When a woman nurtures herself, it suggests she will bring the same intentionality, love, and care to her relationship. One of the most profound ways a woman can connect with a man is through listening. Men notice when a woman truly listens, not just hearing the words being said, but truly being present, engaged, and responsive. It's an art, one that requires empathy, respect, and openness. A woman who listens with intent doesn't just wait for her turn to speak. She processes what's being said. She offers thoughtful responses, and she shows genuine interest in understanding the person in front of her. For a man, this is one of the most profound forms of connection. When a woman makes eye contact, nods in acknowledgement, or asks thoughtful follow-up questions, it signals to him that she values his perspective and is genuinely interested in what he has to say. It's a small yet powerful act that creates space for meaningful interaction and builds trust. In a world that often values speed over depth, men long for moments when they can truly be seen and heard. Women who possess this rare ability to listen with empathy and attentiveness provide a profound sense of validation that's hard to come by. It's not just about hearing words, it's about recognizing the emotions and the deeper layers behind those words. When a man feels listened to in this way, he feels understood, accepted, and truly connected. It's a gift that not only fosters intimacy, but also builds a foundation of trust and mutual respect. Men notice when a woman listens with her heart, when her attentiveness doesn't just communicate curiosity, but also care and genuine concern for their emotional world. It's in these quiet moments of understanding that real emotional connection thrives. The act of truly listening goes beyond a simple exchange of words. It is an expression of deep emotional maturity and connection. When a woman listens attentively, it reassures a man that his thoughts, feelings, and experiences matter, fostering a sense of safety and trust in the relationship. This ability to listen without judgment creates an environment where he can open up freely, knowing he won't be dismissed or misunderstood. Over time, this cultivates intimacy as both partners feel heard and validated. It's a quiet but powerful act that builds a strong emotional foundation. On the other hand, when a woman appears distracted, interrupts frequently, or dismisses what's being said, it can create a subtle but significant rift. Men may not always have the words to express it, but they notice when their words don't seem to land. The frustration that follows can make him hesitant to share his thoughts in the future, fearing that he won't be truly listened to. This disconnect, while subtle, can quietly erode trust and closeness in the relationship. Listening is a two-way street. And when one person isn't fully engaged, the dynamic of the relationship shifts. It's not just about the words exchanged, it's about showing up for each other emotionally. What makes listening so powerful is that it reflects a woman's broader capacity for empathy and emotional intelligence. A woman who listens attentively demonstrates that she is invested in understanding others, and this emotional investment is a cornerstone of any meaningful connection. Men are naturally drawn to this quality because it signifies that she values the relationship enough to engage deeply. It's a form of emotional generosity, an offering of presence and care that says, "I am here, and I am truly interested in what you have to say." For men, this quality is particularly attractive because it shows that communication is not a transactional act, but a shared experience. When a woman listens with intention, it suggests she is building a relationship that thrives on mutual understanding, respect, and connection. Ultimately, listening becomes one of the most powerful ways a woman can foster trust and intimacy. It may seem simple, but it leaves a lasting impression, shaping how men perceive her emotional capacity and her ability to create a sense of partnership. Listening, however, is not just a universal quality. It's uniquely tied to a woman's emotional vulnerability and her capacity for privacy. It's a deeply personal act, one that opens up a space where emotional truths are shared. Men notice this, though they may not always express it. In addition to listening, men are also attuned to the energy a woman brings into a room, even if they can't put it into words. This energy doesn't rely on loudness or drawing attention to herself. It's the subtle, unspoken vibe that surrounds her. Whether she's exuding warmth, optimism, calmness, or even tension, her presence has a weight and an influence that lingers long after she enters the room. This energy speaks to how she navigates the world, and men instinctively pick up on it. It's the silent message she conveys without uttering a single word, creating an atmosphere that others can either approach or retreat from. A woman who radiates positivity and confidence has a remarkable ability to brighten the atmosphere around her. It's not about being constantly upbeat or forcing cheerfulness. It's about an authentic, grounded energy that feels inviting and safe. Men notice when a woman walks into a room and carries herself with grace, her demeanor signaling that she is comfortable in her skin. This confidence, rooted in self-assurance, is not about arrogance. It's about having an inner peace that others are drawn to. This type of energy suggests resilience and optimism, qualities that are naturally appealing because they signal that she can handle life's challenges with grace. Her positive energy is like a magnet, attracting people who seek a calm, uplifting presence in a sometimes chaotic world. In contrast, negative energy can be just as noticeable, if not more so. A woman who consistently brings tension, pessimism, or drama into space may unintentionally create emotional barriers. Men, although they may not always be able to pinpoint why, are particularly sensitive to these shifts in emotional tone. They may find themselves becoming more cautious and reluctant to engage if their energy feels like it will add stress or instability to their lives. This isn't about being judgmental, it's simply an instinctive response to how her presence impacts the environment. Men seek harmony, and when that harmony is disrupted by negative energy, it can make them retreat emotionally. If you are still watching this video and find these lessons useful, please comment 2 below to let me know that you are still here with me. What stands out most, however, is authenticity. Men are drawn to a woman's energy when it feels true to who she is, when her presence is aligned with her inner self. Authenticity in energy makes her approachable, relatable, and trustworthy. Whether it's her quiet confidence, sense of humor, calm demeanor, or empathetic nature, her energy speaks volumes about how she navigates the world. It's not about trying to be someone she's not. It's about being fully herself, and that authenticity is magnetic. Men are drawn to this energy because it creates a sense of safety, allowing them to be themselves without fear of pretense or judgment. A woman's energy, when rooted in authenticity, is a silent yet profound reflection of her true self, and that is what men notice, respect, and cherish. As we wrap up today's discussion, think about all the insights we've explored, whether it's the power of a genuine listening ear, the magnetic energy a woman brings into a room, or the importance of self-care and boundaries. These are the small yet powerful behaviors that shape how we connect and build meaningful relationships. So what has resonated with you the most? What is one thing you've learned today that you're committed to practicing in your own life? I'd love to hear your thoughts. Please comment below and share one key takeaway that you'll bring into your day-to-day interactions. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to our YouTube channel for more content like this. Your support means the world to us, and we can't wait to see you in the next video.